last year we were celebrating the fact that the first case of Hennessy landed in Penang.
Was it only last year?
Yes, that was last year.
Like a lifetime ago.
It seemed like a long time ago, yes. You know, there was a good reason to bring it to Penang that time because we wanted to celebrate, you know, that the first case of Hennessy for Malaysia landed in Penang. And that was actually before X.O was even created in 1867. And today we learned that it was something about straight settlements. So we celebrated that last year, and then this year is the year that X.O redesigned its decanter. So we were talking very much about the angle of preserving heritage, preserving what's good, but reinterpreting it in keeping with times. And we said, what better place than Penang? Like the tour guide mentioned correctly this morning, Penang is a heritage city not only because of the architecture and the buildings, but because of the culture. So we said, no, let's link it back to the culture of something very close to the heart of Malaysians, local Penang food. And then let's reimagine it the way X.O has redesigned its bottle. Let's reimagine it by inviting a chef to deconstruct the local Penang dishes. And uncannily, we found a chef who's Singaporean but had a nanny who cooked Penang food for him as he was growing up. So we said, perfect, it was a perfect gel of the story. And so we approached Chef Michael, and thankfully he said, yes, I'll do it. And I think the other thing is also the choice of the venue. I think it's also in keeping with the same concept and the same theme. We were very sure we wanted to sort out a heritage building that has been refurbished. So again, telling the same story of preserving the heritage. And if you look, when you're there 3 weeks later, you will see that from the facade it looks very modern because it's been refurbished that way. But when you go into the interior of the hall, they really preserve the architecture and the heritage of the building, which is exactly what we've done with X.O. We may have redesigned the bottle, but we've preserved very much the beauty of the cognac inside. And the chef will show you, I'm sure he may have reinterpreted the dishes, but he will preserve all the good things we tasted this morning.
I've been meaning to ask, how did you make the transition from, I understand you're a lawyer.
I went to law school.
Did you ever practice? And how did
I make the transition?
I mean, your parents object?
Of course. I think being Asian and being a bit more traditional, they of course objected very strongly. I think even now they don't understand why. I think they accepted it, and that's how we move forward. But I think understanding it is a bit more difficult. Because the lifestyle of a chef is not so easy.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's difficult, I think, for a partner and for the family. You don't see them very much. And sometimes, I guess, you wonder why. So in that sense, yes, they are affected.
So it's truly something driven by passion now, obviously, because...
I think it's driven by, I like to eat, or I like to eat first and foremost. So it's driven by that, but it's also driven by, I think, a desire to achieve a certain standard, or to achieve what I want to achieve in cooking. And that's what it's driven by. And to build, I guess, yes, a restaurant in a way, but also a different culture and how we express what food can be, and there's a lot more than just food.
Chef, you were saying that you knew from the very early stages of law school that you probably end up not practicing.
Yeah, the first one's very fun.
How challenging is to recreate the dishes in your own way using Penang food, and is it okay for you to reveal any sneak preview? What are we getting?
It's a surprise. Very shocking. But honestly, it is challenging. Firstly, because it's Asian food. Secondly, because you're interpreting it in a European way. I think the styles and technique is very different. Local food or Asian food is very robust and very strong in flavor, whereas at 53 the food usually is a bit more subtle and not as bold. So in that sense it is difficult. But we'll see what we can do.
Okay, Singapore and Penang I mean, both places are always well known for good food, you see. So you come to Penang, you tasted some of the best, you know. Which are your favorite?
Dishes?
Yeah.
Hokkien meat. Oyster omelette. But I've always had oyster omelette, even in Singapore. So oyster omelette. And the rojak actually is pretty good. It's better than I remember it to be.
The fruit rojak or the sample? Asam laksa? No.
Asam laksa, yes, but unfortunately I liked the version that was cooked for me a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
And whatever I eat, usually it's not as good as that.
It's hard to replace what you grow up with, you know.
Yeah, are there any childhood foods that you feel that you haven't been able to replicate or haven't been able to taste since?
Asam laksa is one.
But what was it about it then?
Well, I think it was cooked for me
With love.
with a lot of love, and something that she liked. I wanted to share with I guess the family that she worked for, and so that's why it was very different. And she made it a little bit differently.
This is your Penang nanny lah.
That's right.
Right.
It's quite a romantic story.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that time you didn't. Is she still alive?
No, she's passed away.
And when she was still alive, you didn't have the interest in cooking and to get the recipe of her.
To eat, yes.
Yeah.
But she didn't work with any recipes. It's just that the guys did. They just cooked by feel. So I did see what she was doing, yes. But I can't remember exactly what she was doing also. If that helps. So it's hard to recreate it.
Sorry, your woman, this will be a sensitive question, but how old are you? Because
That you know.
yeah, you look like 20 something, right? But your accolades say otherwise because I mean, such a young fella can. I mean, you're 20 something. It's unlikely.
I wish I was doing something. But I think before I cook, I probably didn't look much younger. But cooking ages you as well. So
I thought all the oil would act as a moisturizer.
It doesn't quite work that way.
Of the string of restaurants that was featured in your biodata, right? Fat Duck, etc. Which one?
Did I enjoy the most?
Yeah.
That would be Noma, the Copenhagen.
Why?
Why? I think it was the working environment. The team spirit was very strong in Copenhagen, and the guys were very young, and they pushed a lot, so they wanted to learn. So that was interesting. I think the philosophy and the concept of what Renee is trying to do, or was trying to do, resonates the most with me as well. So in that sense, after working everywhere else, that would probably be the place I like the best. Also because I like Copenhagen. It's a very nice city, very livable.
So what are the ingredients will you be planning?
We'll be using?
Yes.
We use as much as we can locally from Penang, and what we can't get, we'll get from somewhere else. So we look for some seafood. Seafood here is really good. So we use maybe mackerel, maybe prawns, maybe mantis shrimp, and so on and so forth. I think we can get river prawns as well. I saw it being served as sesame and soy, not less. So we'll go look for it and see if we can find it live as well. And then from there, that'll be the base of how I choose to decide what we'll serve and what we won't serve.
What influence will you go? Which direction? You going
What
for
by that?
Chinese or
Chinese,
Western?
Malay.
I think we'll try to feature a spread of Penang street food, whether it's Chinese or Malay, it doesn't quite matter. Technique wise, clearly I cook European food, the technique is different. We don't use so much oil. It's not as big. It's more pork. So that will change obviously how we cook as well. In particular because so you use science quite a bit as well. So we control temperature a lot more. It's a bit more precise, and so that will affect how we cook. Less of just a spoonful or a teaspoon, and we'll measure it. So that will definitely change. And we use a lot of water bars as well.
So you will break the whole dish.
We'll look at the dish in a different way, but we won't change it so much as when you see it, go, what is this? Or sorry, when you see it, you may go, what is this? But when you eat it, you should remember that what the dish was supposed to be. shouldn't stray too far from what the original dish was meant to be.
Chef, just a quick question for you. Sorry, I'm just going to jump in. Today, we've gone around to so many hawker places with a bottle of XO. And so I just wanted to get your thoughts, what do you think about having XO with local food?
Actually works very well. Goes with Char Kway Teow very clearly. Actually, the flavour is quite strong. And I think it suits the Penang food very, very well. Especially what we tried today.
And that's the beauty of the XO, because it's so complex, there's so many layers of flavors that it virtually can be paired with most food.
Yeah.
To what extent is one thing, but when you are adventurous like yourselves, you can find new ways to enjoy XO every day, and it surprises you, and that's what we like about this drink. And this is also precisely why we take on the Appreciation Growth series, because this is something we like to share. And food is so close to the hearts of Malaysians, and cognac being paired with food is something that Malaysian Chinese community is very used to. It's not something new. It's been done since, in all the wedding banquets, the Chinese banquets since eons ago. So to me, it's just finding new ways to appreciate something that's very, from heritage. And again, reimagining it and reintroducing it and rediscovering the beauty of it every day with different food and with the company of different people. And cognac is becoming fashionable among the young people again, because we're trying to reintroduce the beauty of cognac to the younger generation. It's no longer just what my father used to drink, which was a little bit of the reputation we had many years ago. So no longer that case.
Any questions?
Okay, it's not if I'm not mistaken, you did mention that the last trip that you came to Penang was 10 years ago.
Actually, I came a month ago, but the last one before that was about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Sorry about
I mean, in terms of food that they tried last time, I think that time you were before a chef, right?
Yes.
So does that give you any? You have a nanny that feed you very good food. So did it come across your mind that you want to create something that relates back to your nanny's creation, or you need to put Penang food in your menu? Or
I think when asked to do the dinner, yes, that's what I thought. But I couldn't remember very clearly what Penang food was about. I remember the dishes, yes, but the taste was very different. So 5 weeks ago when I first came, I ate a lot more than what you guys eat today. I remember we ate probably the whole day. It was a very quick trip before I went to Oslo. So then I can remember what it was. And then this reinforces what I thought before. And that's how we'll come up with the menu. So I'll try to think about what I used to eat when I was a kid and what it is like now. I think the food changes also.
yep.
Like a lot you're saying is a different generation, right? And that changes. So that's what we'll try to play on as well.
So what's your worst cooking injury? I mean, what's your worst kitchen injury? Yeah.
Actually, I'm quite lucky. I don't have very many scars. Which is not so
Lucky
bad.
indeed.
Sorry?
I'm only a half-baked baker and I got birds
Scars.
all.
The birds usually come with the forearms. I guess it cuts. But if a knife is sharp, then it's just painful for a while and it's fine.
Okay. That's one way to look at it.
I've never had to go to hospital yet, to be fair. I should, but
Why you want to compare injury?
Battle scars.
Battle scars, yeah.
I got more.
By-
Who has more, is
when you use the
it?
meat slicer, the one at a butcher, that's the most painful. It's very sharp and it's very quick, even though
Oh. I can imagine.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we all need a shot of XO.
Cheers. Your favorite cooking ingredient? Is there one? I mean, not due respect, curry kwang, everything also got soya sauce one.
No. I think it's good to use ingredients that are not regarded so highly. So, for example, you use chicken heart or chicken liver as opposed to foie gras, and that's something that's different. I think attitudes and money changes. Like, for example, monkfish, a few years ago was very cheap, now it's very expensive. So, that's something that's more challenging, and not every menu must be full of caviar and foie gras, for example. So, we try to have less of that in the restaurant, and maybe if the menu is more vegetable and seafood based, and only just one meat, and that's it.
What are the local dish that you like to cook?
At home?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't cook at all.
So who cooks at home?
The maid cooks at home. It's her kitchen, not mine. She cooks at home. And even when I'm off, it's best that I don't step in the kitchen unless I really have to. If I must, I will. But I try not to be in the kitchen when I'm not at work. In all honesty. So I eat out a lot. Because we don't eat out very much when we're open. So
I assume you eat in your kitchen more than.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we cook Star food at the restaurant, so that's what we eat. Whatever the guys cook is what we eat. And then the days we're closed, we go eat somewhere else.
So when was the most difficult time with your most difficult customers? Where you just said
That's
like,
quite often. I think it was very challenging to explain what we're trying to do. What I had in mind at the restaurant, and today it's still like that. I think everyone thought that because where I worked, the food would be, I think what they call molecular gastronomy, which is not, but that's what they thought. So it's hard to break that mold. And I think if you go to anywhere else expecting the food at the Fat Duck, you won't get it. You only get it at the Fat Duck where there are 40 chefs or 40 diners, and they food every day for the last few years.
so I presume you blend your food,
What do you mean? I mean,
different techniques. And also,
well, you learn different techniques from where you work,
yeah.
and you decide whether that's what you want or that's not what you believe to follow. So there are a lot of things that I felt that they are very useful. Cooking is science.
Yeah.
It is physics and chemistry. So in that sense, that's what I appreciate about it. And it's good to understand what we're doing, so that we can control what we're doing, so that we know what the outcome will be, which is important, so that we're consistent. The food is the same today, tomorrow, and day in, day out. Whether I'm there or I'm not there, that's important. And science helps to achieve that. And helps us to understand why something tastes more meaty or less meaty, or whether something's more or something's less, and how to pair foods better. So that's important. That's what the Fat Duck does the most for me.
Chef, what are you most excited about with regards to the upcoming dinner?
I think the challenge to get ingredients. So the challenge is to get what we want to get, and then hopefully surprise everyone.
So there's the twist in your food.
Yes, I hope so. There should be. It's hard to get some ingredients here that we want, or that we're used to working with. So after we overcome that challenge, which I'm sure we will today, we will be able to, I guess, create an element of surprise, while at the same time making sure that we don't stray too far from what the food was meant to be. So that is not so easy, and that we can impart part of what I believe into local street food or local Penang food as well.
Any food creation that you are really proud of? I mean, throughout the years of cooking, any particular dish that well, I did it, it's my best, my favorite.
Actually, I'm a perfectionist as well, and that is my cross to bear. So honestly, I always think that food can be better, and so you can always improve it when you do it. So in that sense, no. And I like potatoes, so we try to cook with potatoes a lot. So when we open again, we use potatoes as dessert. Which is not that foreign, actually, if you think about it. See potatoes we use in Asian dessert, but in European culture it's not so common. So you don't see potatoes as dessert alone in a European restaurant. So we'll do that and we'll see what the reaction is, I guess. It's not so much to freak you out, but it's more to use it as an ingredient, as a very versatile ingredient, whether in savory or a sweet application.
You all have about 10 minutes more.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Very generous.
I was very lazy. I didn't do much research on your 53, but what can you tell us more about the restaurant?
It's a very small restaurant. We have 7 tables. We're a bit smaller now when we're reopening in Singapore. We are also in an old heritage building, which was important to me. I think I like history, so it had to be a place with some history as opposed to being a glass building. So we're very small. We have a wood fire oven this time around, where we'll cook on wood as much as we can.
Cook on what?
On wood. So we'll create like a barbecue by using wood to fire it. The tasting menu only in the evening and also for lunch. It's modern European food. Okay, that can be everything these days, but it's more nature based and nature inspired.
So the influence is what? Western or I mean, these days there's no real boundary, right?
That's right. So the food is European. I guess it's influenced by what I see and what I like. I like Japanese culture also. So there's some influence from that. So we can use soy sauce. We don't have to stick to using only European ingredients.
So the menu change?
The menu changes 4 times a year, as per the seasons. But we also tweak the menu from what we can find or what we find is good, or if we find there's a way to improve it, then we change it slightly. But it changes wholesale 4 times a year.
So a question for both Michael and Karen. What would you like guests from the upcoming dinner to take away?
Karen should answer that first.
I think it should be a remarkable experience that that's unexpected. We are all about preserving what's good and preserving the heritage, whether it's in the cognac, the choice of the venue, choice of the menu, and the whole concept of Penang deconstructed. What we'd like is for them to have to bring back memories of things that are close to their heart, which is local Penang food, the good cognac. Oh, this building, I remember it used to be so, and that's why we're also, quite excited to also bring a lot of Penangites who moved out of Penang back for this dinner, because it really, it's a little bit of a nostalgic journey, but presenting it to them in a very different way, in a very unexpected way. To me, that's the beauty of Hennessy. It's 140 something years old, but it continues to surprise people. And every time you rediscover a different way to appreciate Hennessy, it's a new surprise. And I think this dinner series will be something that's very different from things that we've done before, because of the concept, the chef. So I think what I hope is to wow people, when they leave, is to say, wow, we didn't expect that. Like Chef said, it doesn't necessarily have to be foie gras and wagyu beef all the time to have a good dinner. And I'd like them to be pleasantly surprised when they walk out that night. And to think that Hennessy X.O has taught us something else tonight, appreciation in a very different way. So that's what I'd like to see. And of course, everybody will have a lot of fun. They drink.
Actually, I'm very excited. I'd like to know how Hennessy meets Michael.
Hennessy meets
Michael.
How Hennessy meets Michael.
It's like love story law.
Yeah. It's only it's only just blossoming. We work with different chefs every year.
Yes.
And every year we try to find a chef that shares the same DNA as the brand. A lot of what Chef Michael has just showed you has talked about is so close to X.O. His style is very nature-based. X.O is a great base, basically agricultural base. He works with a lot of local produce, with a lot of respect for the process in which things is made. So there's a science to it, but there's a lot of art and heart in the process. That's the same way X.O is made as well. We've explained the Sabah Fair to you repeatedly, how the respect of the fact that only a brandy made in cognac can be called a cognac. That's really respect for local produce. I think we share a lot of the values, the brand and Chef Michael. And then the whole uncanny thing of him having a Penang